Hello, it's Alison from Virtually Admin Solutions, and I'm here this afternoon to talk to you about my series of videos. This is video number 7 now in a series of 10 that myself and 9 other freelancers in Northern Ireland who were or are virtual assistants have put together with the title How to Transform Your Business and Work More Efficiently in 2020. And I did that as part of my pledge when I entered the Small Business Saturday campaign, that I was one of the 100 small businesses selected in the UK to champion other business owners, I suppose, was part of it in a way. And today I'm going to talk to you. Most of these videos I've recorded and put on my YouTube channel, Virtually Admin Solutions, and I'll put the link underneath. But today I thought actually I'd just do a Facebook Live and show some tools live as well, because I think that'll help as well. And I think at this time of year, you know, on the 7th of December, things can get pretty busy. I know I am flat out for the next 2.5 weeks. And I also would really like to finish up for Christmas and, you know, not be working on Christmas Eve ideally. But it's also at this time of year that you have, you know, there's so much stuff going on and you're trying to organise Christmas presents if you celebrate Christmas. You're maybe travelling to see family and trying to get together with family for the first time this year if you're in the UK and the restrictions have been relaxed a little bit. You're trying to get all your client work done. If you're a product-based business, you are up the walls probably trying to get lots of orders and things out. So today we're just going to talk about taking the tasks out of your head. And if you're listening live to this at the moment and you can relate, please put in the comment what you're struggling with at the moment, because I know it can be a very busy time of year. So today we're talking about taking the tasks out of your head and how to get them into some kind of system where you're not in that position where you have post-it notes stuck all around your computer, or you've got notebooks everywhere and then you can't find anything because you can't remember what notebook you wrote it in. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then you're stressing all the time because you think, oh my goodness, have I forgotten something? And I had to do that. And I don't know where the details are, especially if you're dealing with lots of customers. So I'm just going to share a slide. I haven't shared a slide actually before with StreamYard. So it's all learning. We're always learning, aren't we? With this whole virtual world. So first of all, I'm going to share my slide here. And hopefully this is working. So, you know, the first thing to look at, we have this habit that sometimes we don't really realize the power of the tools that we already have. So if you have a business, or even if you don't, and you have an email address, like maybe you have, you know, your own name at gmail.com, or you've bought a domain and you have routed your email either through Office 365 and Outlook, or through Gmail, or you have actually an Apple routed email as well. The first thing to do is to look at the task tool that's actually related to your own email. So I have Office 365, and in it, you know, I have my inbox, obviously, the calendar, and then there's a little tool with a little tick that is a task. And in that, I can go in, I can write in whatever tasks are floating about my head. I can write in the task, I can put a reminder, date, so set a date that it has to be done by, and, you know, if it's very important, or, you know, grade it and sort of prioritize it with how important it is. And then it's in my task list. So if I log into my email in the morning time, you know, I see the emails I have to do, but I also see the tasks, and it's in one place. And that's with Office 365. I can't share my screen, unfortunately, with it to show it to you, but that's Office 365. And if you're using the whole G Suite and you have Gmail, it's the same idea. They also have a task list, and you can see your, which you can link to your calendar as well, and you see it, you know, so you can see the tasks in one place. So it's the first tip I would always give people: look at first your email provider and the tasks that they have before you start going into looking into all these apps and lists and, you know, everything else. And an Excel sheet, you know, can just be as good as anything else, especially if you have a project and you have to break it all out. So tip number 1, use the tools that are related to your own email. And the good thing about these things now as well is that with Office 365 and G Suite and all the rest, and Apple, that each of them have their own, what would we call it, a sort of a note-taking tool as well. So with Office 365, you have OneNote. So if you go onto your phone or you log into your Office 365 account, you'll see a little thing called OneNote. I'll just show you the icon actually for here. So it's on the second page here, this big purple N. Apple have Evernote, which you'll see on your phone or on your Mac, and then Google have Google Keep. And the brilliant thing about this is, say that you have an idea, maybe you wake up in the middle of the night, you have an idea about something, or you're doing a podcast, you think, oh, I'd love to interview such person, that you actually just pick up your phone, because I know most of us do. I don't actually sleep with my phone beside the bed. For those of us you do, you can just, open your phone, open the little app, and put that in. And then the beauty of that is that, the next day when you're working away, maybe on your computer or some other device, that it's synced, so that everything's synced and it's in one place. You think, okay, this is where I have, and it'll come back to you and you can remember. And the great thing about those tools now, it's not even that you just type it in. You can dictate it. You can speak what you want to say, and it will type it for you with a pretty good degree of accuracy. You can put screen clip-ins, you can make an audio note as well, which I know a lot of people like to do as well, but it's really good because it's in one place. But then you can also share it. If you have to share it with someone else, you can share it outside, and you can email it to yourself and do all kinds of brilliant things. And when I'm talking about voice recording as well, there are so many, it's a bit like, with WhatsApp and Facebook. Now these days you can just record the little message. You can say what you want to say with a little microphone and send messages to people, which I think sometimes is very nice, especially if you want to send something quite personal. It's nice to do that. Microsoft Word also does that. If you have the dictate function on Microsoft Word, you can actually speak to Word and it will type it. Now, it's not so fantastic yet at putting in the punctuation. You have to go back and format it yourself, but already the fact that you're doing that. And when I used to do Facebook Lives, I would have done that actually. I would have spoken to Microsoft Word and sort of had an outline of what I was going to say, and then do my Facebook Live, and then sometimes I would have gone back in and formatted and actually made parts of that into a blog or for something else as well. And even today, actually, I saw earlier on this morning that in Google Slides, if you're making a Google slide, there's also the function now that you can speak to Google Slides and tell them what you want to change. Tell them what you want to change and it'll change it for you, which is, it's really good, and it's really fantastic actually if you are dyslexic or you have some kind of visual disability as well, to be able to speak to tools like that, because it takes away that the sort of fear, I suppose, of making mistakes, and that people will laugh at you because they think, oh goodness, that person can't spell. And the third tool, the tool that I want to speak to you about as well today, that I'm actually going to show you live, is a project management tool called Asana. And obviously there are thousands of project management tools, and I'm sure anytime you're on YouTube, you'll see ads flashing up for Monday.com and Trello. There's literally thousands, and G2 Crowd have a really good comparison. You can go on there and look at the different sort of tools that you need for the project that you're working on. And I know even in Xero, if you have Xero Accountancy, they have a good list of integrations of tools that maybe if you're in the construction industry or specific industries, that there's good tools that link in the background there, if you're subcontracting work and all those kinds of things. But the thing that I want to show you today is Asana, because I think it's very easy to use. It's free for the sort of basic version. And I've been using it for the last little while with clients who have big projects. And I just want to show you what it's like. So I'm just going to stop sharing this screen and go back to where I am and see, can I then share my Asana screen? And we'll see how that works. Okay. So this is how Asana looks. And I've made a little board here. It's like a board. And the good thing actually that I really like about Asana is that you have different options. So you make your project in a way, and I created this one called House Move, because I think everyone in their lifetime will move house at least several times, and I think the average actually is maybe about 5 times. And it's very, very stressful because there's so many things to think about. You've got all these things floating about your head, and when you've done one thing you think, oh my goodness, I haven't done another thing. And actually I was looking at this earlier and thinking it's a really good place to mark this. And the way Asana works is, which is also really nice, is that you can have a list like this. You can have a board So it brings up, I'll bring it up in a second, little boards along the way. Depending on the functionality, you can have a timeline, and then I'll show you that after the calendar where you can see the progress. So just to show you, for example, it has sections and it has tasks. So I just put in here, I started with the section to do. So redirect mail. Let me think, what else would you have to do? Redirect your mail. Say, for example, that you are self-employed and have your address registered with HMRC to your home address, to your current address. You have to inform them of that. So for every task, all you simply do is you go in and you keep adding the tasks. So I don't know, hard to think of things now, even more before move. And then the good thing about this is that you can call your sections whatever you want. So I call this to do, completed, and so you can do to do, doing. Or you have to get the electricity read before you leave the house. Cancel your the phone line maybe, and the Wi-Fi. So the list can be endless, but the good thing about this is, so cancel the phone line and Wi-Fi, for example, you click on that, there's then a little button over to the right that says details, and in here that you can mark who it's assigned to. So in this case, it's me. But you can also put the due date. So let's say the 18th of December, and then you can write the description, phone, here it is, Virgin, to cancel. Okay, and then you can put the number in, and you can have subtext on that as well. You can have, if you have the paid version of Asana, you can also, it can be linked, tasks can be linked to different things as well, and you can add an attachment. Maybe you have, for example, your last Virgin bill, with your contact numbers and things on it, and then you just do that. And then the good thing about this is that, say you have this in the wrong section, and you forgot, well, let's just pretend we forgot that you already had done that. All you do is you drag it down here and you do completed. And this one that I have sort of screened out here, actually, if you go into that, you can also mark things are completed, or unclick it if they're not. The reason that I think actually it's really nicer to have to do, done, is that you can move them and then you can see what you've done. So, if you forgot that you actually had arranged that and it's marked as complete, it's harder to see. And then with the calendar, I'll just show you here. So I put in there the 18th of December, redirect mail, cancel phone, and then I know that that's the task for me to do. And I think the really good thing about Asana is actually if it's a couple more than one person working on a project, and for example, my sister and brother-in-law are building a house at the moment. And if anybody's ever done a self-build, Jesus, it is a lot of work because there's a lot of people to contact, a lot of plates in the air spinning, and if you're both working full-time with two little kids, it is not easy. And so they actually used Trello to project map everything that they were doing, and they're very logical anyway with their careers, so it was easy for them to do something like that as well. And then either you can log in, and all of these tools, Asana, Trello, all the rest, you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your on a device, and that and it's syncing all the time. So if I phone the Tyler, the person can go in and go, oh look, I don't have to phone them, this is what they said, this is the price, and improves in communication. And if you're working in a team, it also improves improves the working relationship, because you don't have this whole back and forth with emails after emails after emails, because actually all the information is on one board in one place. And I actually listened to a webinar that Asana did the week before last, and they had very big companies like Sky and big banking companies as well in England who were using Asana as a project tool between their different teams, because then they could see what everybody was doing at a very easy glance. It made it a lot easier. And the other really good thing is as well that Asana has its own templates as well. So if I go to home and we just go for a new project, for example, if you go to use a template here, you can choose what they have. So I saw actually a very useful thing, new hire checklist for managers. And so they have all this thing, the whole thing about sending the welcome maiden welcome email, client on board, and all that. You just press use the thing. You say who it's who it's for. This is for me, obviously, and then you just create it, and it creates all this. And the really good thing about that is that you can then share that. Say that you're a collaboration of two people, a business collaboration, and it's maybe even a franchise, say, and you're taking on new franchisees. Well, then you can copy this link. You can edit the name, obviously, here to whatever you want. You can also copy the project link and invite the other person in to look at it. You can save the layout. You can save the layout as default. So, say for example, you had, even if you want to replicate this for every person, or you wanted to make this a template for evermore. And the good thing there that I saw, and of course, all of this, as I did before, all of that. So you can customize this to whatever you want and save it, which is the really good thing there, that you can save the layout as default afterwards. And the other good thing they do is, for a new project, you can also import a spreadsheet. So if you're, say for example, you are creating and launching a course, and maybe even had an Excel sheet where you had, the whole bit about creating the course, the promotion of it, creating Facebook link events and LinkedIn and all those steps, and there's probably about 150 steps from the start to the end. If you have that in Excel sheet already, you can actually import that in and do that as well. I've done that for myself, for my Jumpstart Your Efficiency course, which is starting in January, and also for clients, because when you're actually when you're creating a course, it's very, very admin and marketing intensive, and it's very easy to get very, very overwhelmed. And until you actually break it down into little steps, you can get a bit stuck with it, because you think there's so much to do. I can't do everything. But actually, if you've broken it down to little steps with the due date and who's doing it, it's much more manageable. It's more bite size. It's more manageable, and you're much more likely, I think, to succeed in actually making it come to fruition. So that's I'm just going to stop sharing that. Sorry. That was my video today for how to transform your business and make it more efficient in 2020. There are 2 other videos still left in the series. One will be done by Yvette Fulton, who probably was one of the first virtual assistants actually in Northern Ireland that I knew of, and who now has her own coaching business, and Wendy Cree from Abrielle. They're the 2 last people. So if you have any questions about anything that I've said today, or you need to book a little discovery call with me, please don't hesitate. And I hope that's useful, and I'll download this video after as well and put it on the YouTube channel with all the rest. Okay, thanks for watching today, and I hope to catch you all again soon.